again for a wake-up call with Corinna, live here at the Crystal Shrine in Burbank. I hope you had a great weekend. I was directed to talk with you all today about gut feelings. And I think part of the reason this is important, well, it's an important topic. However, as you know, I get directed as to what to speak about, usually within a couple of days, but certainly within the hour of going live. And so it's raw, it's channeled, it's downloaded, it's relevant to observations and or because it's like a theme going on with clients that I'm working with. And gut feelings has a lot to do with our innate instinctual feelings about things. Kids have it readily available, and we as children are often redirected about our instinctual feelings because it may not be in line with those who are either parenting us or our major supervisions or society regulations or things like that. The typical example is, oh, go kiss grandpa, right? And the kid says no. Sometimes it's because the child is palpating that grandpa may not be very kind, or he has a lot of anger in his heart, or worse, or he has energies around him that are not kind. So there's a lot of layers as to why. Though those instincts of protection, self-protection, can and often are redirected, taught out of us, and then we get into our teenage years, and those goals for autonomy are partly based in your gut feelings. And there is a tug and pull of boundary and freedom to figure out what those things are. Not always met successfully, unfortunately, and sometimes met with trauma. However, as we take all that into our lives as adults, the requirement to have those gut feelings never goes away. And to be able to respond to them with courage can be scary, can also continue to be spoken away from what makes sense, even with our own dialogue in trying to process, or through other people in our desire to process with other people's opinions. So this is tricky. It's tricky. And part of it is because the goal would be to gain confidence and security in those gut feelings. And the only way to really do that is, I'm shaking the camera, sorry, is by building the muscle. Similar to, you wouldn't have a kindergartner necessarily all of a sudden just read a book. I mean, you have to learn the letters, you have to learn the sounds, you have to learn how to put them together, all that. So following your gut instinct, following your gut feelings is the same. It's a muscle. Okay, so regardless of where this comes into your life, whether you're a parent, please consider your child's instincts. And we may have a likely, look, parenting is a big topic for me. Having 3 of my own and having another industry that I have for myself business-wise that gives me lots of opportunities to observe parenting, having clients, all that sort of it's a topic I absolutely love and am passionate about, and so at some point I will have just a conversation about parenting. But in this regard, allow your children to build their muscles of gut instinct and just watch over it. Having no boundaries is never good, regardless of what age. So it's having muscles and then having boundaries, and that balance is what we strive for. In our adult life, this gut feeling is how we choose mates, how we choose jobs, how we choose interviews, how we decide which way to go home, all those things. And those are all smaller ways of building that muscle. The other part of the courage of gut listening is the willingness to not have an answer as to why you're listening to it unless it feels unsafe. And to follow it without diverting yourself because you don't know why, it doesn't make sense, this seems odd, isn't it weird? Okay, all those words that we say to ourselves. So there's much science around the idea that the brain is not the only part that does our thinking for us. We have multiple systems that help us figure out the world. So we have our brain, cognizant thinking. We have our unconscious. We have our subconscious. We have our nervous system. We have our energy field. We have our organs. So that's just off the top of my head, keeping it simple, okay? So, and the heart, right? What I'm finding the most of what I'm doing when I'm working with people and coaching people is the conversation of listening to gut instinct and processing out what we were told versus what we feel is truth. Truth is a big subject. I'm a truth seeker. I am not afraid of truth. It doesn't always feel good, but it is always important. So the courage to follow your gut does take muscle building, like a workout. Here are some very simple ways to start building that muscle should you feel like this is something that's important for you to do at this time of your life. When you go home from work or, picking up your kids at school or whatever, go a different way. Go a way you haven't gone. Go in a path that is not autonomic. We know that we often, as creatures of habits, we often take the same route to the same place. What if, as an exercise, you checked in and said, which way should I go today? And for fun, you go a different way. And pick up the clues after you've done that. Pick up the clues and experiences of what was different. How was it different? Was it more colorful? Was it more traffic? Were there more trees? Were there more animals? Were there whatever? Okay. Did you come across something that moved you in one way or another? Those are all very simple things to start gaining. If the end result is like, I hated that direction, that's good too. That's good too. It's good to know why did we not go this way before. So that's a really simple exercise. Another way to relearn some of these autonomic things that we do. I went, again, just listening. I was in another area and I wanted to go shopping. And I don't love shopping. I don't love shopping for clothes. I don't love shopping for food. Okay, so I wanted to figure out a way to redirect my pattern of autonomic shopping. So not only did I go to a different store in a different town, which I had to figure out where it was, the store was organized differently. Actually, almost in reverse, but I didn't pay attention to that right away. And so I had to feel what I wanted to purchase in a different way than just normally grabbing things that I was used to getting off the shelf. These are all great, simple exercises, harmless, but help the nervous system, help the mind, help the breakdown of doing things by rote. And all that input is really good for the nervous system majority of the time. If you, there are times when you're not feeling well or whatever, you just kind of want to have that comfort of knowing where things are and perfect. So again, small, simple ways of changing, refamiliarizing, and shifting the automatic ways that we do things. Okay, so gut instincts. The other side of gut instincts are a little more subtle. For example, you may be told while you're driving, hey, go get on this off-ramp, different than you may have taken before, or switch lanes, etc. Not because you have to get somewhere faster. It's just you heard it. Usually it's a little voice. Sometimes it's just a feeling. Just go with it. Doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to know why on everything. You know, those children go, why? Sometimes our brain just wants to know why we're doing something, and yet doesn't always need to know. And so it's, again, getting used to that influx of trusting and needing to know. Trusting and needing to know. So that's, I think, the important part of gut listening today. I always encourage people to have a sense of what they're feeling first before they get advice. Look, I have been in this industry for a long time. Okay. And I can tell you, you will find somebody who matches what you want to hear pretty readily. And it isn't necessarily because you're wanting to follow your gut instinct. It's because you're wanting to follow your logical brain. These two do not always have the same intent behind each other. They're not always best of friends. Because the gut instinct, gut feeling, people will call it intuition, doesn't care if you're scared to do it. You have to do it. It's telling you to do it anyway, right? The logical brain will tell you, okay, yeah, but let's do it this way because this makes sense to me and I can wrap my brain around it and I don't have to be as scared, right? So it's kind of like the good and evil angel on the shoulder. You know, sometimes things are going to be a little uncomfortable, and it's okay. You will survive. I promise. And I will help you if you get stuck. So, when you're going for advice from the hairdresser, the checkout girl at the market, you're talking to their logic side and their scar tissue. Okay? So, I know that when people finally get to the point where they're looking for truth, that's when they find me. That's when they find the person they're afraid to ask the advice from, because that means that they may have to do something different. They may have to do something that's not comfortable, potentially uncomfortable, potentially scary. Okay? So, pay attention to your gut feelings and make sure that when you're seeking advice, it's from different people with different experiences that then you can formulate an opinion about what you want to do. So, with that, don't be afraid of the truth. The truth is just the truth. You can decide what you want to do with it. You can say very consciously, that might be my truth, but I am not ready for it. And that is fine. It's totally fine. Or, that's the truth, but I need to figure out how to get there because it's uncomfortable. Whoop. Oh, something popped out. That means it's the card for the day. And what was that? It's going to be backwards. The higher self. This is part of what works with your gut instinct. It is the part of you that's connected to your life. It has a different experience of you than you have. It has a different experience and a lack of attachment to things that are fearful. It just wants the best for you, okay? So your higher self is also part of another gut feeling. And it's one step removed from your logical mind. And so it can definitely be one of your guides and one of your facilitators to get you to do what you want to do, what you know is right for you. So, I urge you, listen and practice the muscle of gut feeling. It is so, so crucial, and you'll never know exactly when that major epiphany of listening will come, but it will come. And the courage, but the knowing that there's a self-reliance it's really unbeatable. It's really unbeatable. No one can take away your gut feelings. You can always get those back. If they've been trained out of you, that's one thing, but you can always get them back because they're innate. And when the spirit, when the body, when the mind reconnects things that are innate, it's very powerful. Very powerful. So do some little steps. Get out of your habits. And you never know. You may actually experience the world in a better way, in a different way, in a curiosity sort of way. Why not? Why not, right? All right, so with your higher self, I encourage you to enjoy your day, listen to your gut instincts, let them lead you to things that are interesting. And let them lead you away from things that are no longer serving you. Okay? Please comment. Questions are welcomed. As usual, I am here for you. If you decide you need to have more than just a question answered, you actually want a conversation, I do offer 20-minute free consultations if you want to see if we're a right fit, if you want to work with me and we want to work with each other. And I have also just created in-person group every third Wednesday of the month here in Burbank at the Crystal Shrine Annex. And the topics are on my website. It'd be better to RSVP and prepay for the class so you get a little bit of a discount. And join me and we'll talk about stuff and we will learn stuff that are guided and meant to help you feel more strong, more empowered, and more self-reliant. See things in different ways that may assist you in your life and where you want to go. Have a great day, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.